The fall of the Roman Empire is one of the most monumental events in history. But what exactly led to its decline? Let's dive into 8 reasons why the Roman Empire fell. 1. Invasions by barbarian tribes. It's no secret that external pressures contributed to Rome's throughout the centuries. The Romans had clashed with Germanic tribes. But by the 300s, groups like the Visigoths had moved deep into Roman territory. In 410, King Alaric and the Visigoths shocked the empire by sacking the city of Rome. This wasn't an isolated event. In 455, the Vandals also raided the city, and by 476, the Germanic leader Odoacer deposed the last Roman emperor in Italy, marking the traditional end of the Western Roman Empire. 2. Economic troubles and over-reliance on slave labor. Rome's financial troubles were, the empire was broke, thanks to constant wars and overspending. The gap between the rich and poor grew wider, and many wealthy citizens fled to the countryside, avoiding taxes. Meanwhile, Rome's reliance on slaves was beginning to backfire. The empire stopped expanding, and thus the supply of slaves dwindled. The loss of North Africa to the Vandals in the 5th century further crippled Rome's economy, making it harder to defend its borders. 3. The rise of the Eastern Empire. In 285, Emperor Diocletian split the empire into 2 parts, the Eastern and Western Roman empires. This division may have helped in the short term, but in the long run, it weakened the West. While the Eastern Empire, with its capital at Constantinople, flourished, the West faced mounting challenges. The Eastern Empire became rich and powerful, leaving the West vulnerable to constant invasions and internal turmoil. 4. Overexpansion and military overspending. At its peak, Rome stretched from the Atlantic to but such vast territory came with problems. Managing the empire was a nightmare. Communication was slow, and the Roman army struggled to defend its borders. As the empire expanded, money was funneled into maintaining the military, leaving little for essential infrastructure. Rome's grand empire became too costly to maintain. 5. Government corruption and political instability. The Roman Empire had its share of leadership. Political instability plagued the empire for centuries. In the 2nd and 3rd centuries, more than 20 emperors ruled in just 75 years, often through assassinations or military coups. The Praetorian Guard, Rome's elite military unit, had too much power, even auctioning off the title of emperor. These constant leadership changes made it difficult to address the empire's pressing issues. 6. The arrival of the Huns and the migration of barbarian tribes. In the late 4th century, the Huns, a fierce group of Eurasian warriors, began their march westward, pushing many Germanic tribes into Roman territory. The Romans were brutal to these tribes, which led to revolt. The Visigoths, fed up with the Romans, sacked the city of Rome in 410. As the empire weakened, other barbarian groups like the Vandals and Saxons flooded into its territory, further destabilizing the Western Roman Empire. 7. Christianity and the loss of traditional Roman values. With the rise of Christianity, some argue that Roman society began to lose its traditional. As the empire embraced Christianity, the state religion of Rome was replaced, and the focus shifted away from the empire's glory and towards a monotheistic deity. Christian leaders also began playing more active roles in politics, further complicating the empire's governance. 8. Weakening of the Roman legions. Rome's military was once its greatest, but by the time the empire was in decline, it was difficult to recruit loyal Roman soldiers. Emperors began relying on foreign mercenaries, many of whom were Germanic tribes. These mercenaries were fierce, but they had no loyalty to Rome. In fact, many of the barbarian armies that ultimately sacked Rome had once served in its own legions. So there you have it. From invasions to political instability and economic collapse, the fall of the Roman Empire was caused by a combination of internal and external factors. It wasn't just one thing that led to its demise, but rather a slow unraveling of what was once the greatest empire in the world. It's a powerful reminder that even the most powerful civilizations can falter when they face too many challenges.